close your eyes, feel the gentle weight of your body sinking into the softness beneath you, the surface supporting you without asking anything in return. The air around you settles, the eddies of the day blur, and your breath begins to fall into a slower, quieter rhythm. Each inhale softens your chest. Each exhale releases a little more tension. The day's noise loosens its hold, and a deeper stillness begins to rise. This is philosophy for sleep, asterisk for the next 2 hours. You drift through Stoic wisdom that eases the mind, loosens tangled thoughts, and helps your inner world soften into calm. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to follow every idea. You simply allow gentle words to pass through you like a breeze moving through tall grass. Unhurried, effortless. Asterisk the Stoics believed that peace begins not with controlling the world, but with learning to quiet the mind that reacts to it. And tonight, that idea becomes a doorway. A doorway into a slower, quieter state where overthinking loses its grip, where your mind becomes spacious again, and where sleep arrives naturally. As a companion, not a challenge. Asterisk, if this journey brings you ease, feel free to subscribe for more philosophy to sleep too. But right now, there is nowhere to go, nothing to do, only rest. Asterisk, many listeners tell me they wake hours later, surprised to find the video still playing softly in the background. Others remember only the first few minutes before drifting away. However it unfolds for you tonight is exactly right. Exactly enough. Asterisk, adjust your pillow. Let your shoulders drop. Your jaws soften, and allow the night to hold you. Let's begin. Asterisk, you notice the quiet, intimate, soft quiet that wraps around you like a blanket. Your breath deepens, just slightly, as if your body recognizes this moment as an invitation to unwind. Each breath becomes slower, steadier, gentler. Overthinking often begins with a tightening. Shoulders hunched, chest slightly compressed, mind leaning forward into future moments. But here, you lean back. You let gravity take over. You let yourself be carried. Asterisk, in this softening, you start to sense how much weight you've been holding throughout the day, thoughts looping, worries stacking, unfinished tasks clinging like shadows. Stoic philosophy begins here, with noticing. Seneca once wrote that the mind must be observed gently, the way you'd watch a river to understand its flow. You'd notice your thoughts the same way now, not judging them, not wrestling with them, simply watching. Asterisk, you feel the edges of thought appear and dissolve, like small ripples on still water. Asterisk, there is a subtle liberation in this simple act. Overthinking tightens when you resist your thoughts, when you chase them, when you try to outthink the noise. But when you observe without grabbing, just watching thoughts rise and fall, the noise begins to lose momentum. It becomes like a bird passing overhead, visible for a moment, then gone, leaving only the sky. Asterisk, imagine yourself stepping into a quiet courtyard at twilight. The stones beneath your feet are cool, smoothed by centuries of footsteps. Olive trees circled the space, branches whispering softly in the evening breeze. The air carries the faint scent of earth and warm summer dust. In the center stands a small fountain, water falling in gentle, rhythmic notes. You move slowly, aware of each step, aware of the softness of the night touching your skin. Here, nothing demands your attention. Nothing pulls. Nothing pushes. You are simply present, breathing among ancient stones and quiet trees. This moment still, open, unhurried, is exactly the kind of moment the Stoics cherished. A reminder that the mind becomes peaceful not through force, but through returning to what is simple, real, and immediate. You feel the coolness of the stone, you hear the water, you breathe the quiet air. Slowly, your inner world mirrors this calm. A philosopher named Cleanthus, one of the early leaders of Stoicism, wrote that the mind's turbulence settles when we align ourselves with nature, when we stop fighting the flow of life and instead walk with it. He worked as a nighttime water carrier, moving heavy jars through dark streets, and it was in that silence that he realized something profound. The mind can be at peace even while the world is busy, even while responsibilities remain. Peace isn't the absence of life. It's the presence of gentle awareness. As you breathe now, you feel how true that is. You don't need everything around you to change for your mind to settle. You don't need your day to rearrange itself. You don't need every task finished or every uncertainty solved. Your breath alone becomes enough. The quiet alone becomes enough. Your body resting here becomes enough. This is where the journey always begins. With a return to yourself, without judgment, without pressure, without expectation. Feel your hands soften. Feel your spine melt a little deeper into ease. Notice how your breath now moves like a quiet tide, rising, falling, bringing softness to every corner of your body. Overthinking is like a knot pulled tighter and tighter throughout the day. But right now, every breath loosens it. Gently, patiently, without effort. As your body settles, your thoughts drift further apart, like clouds slowly spreading across a wide sky. The spaces between them grow larger, airier, quieter. You begin to sense something the Stoics called ataraxia, calm, unshaken by the restlessness of the mind. Your breath flows. The night deepens around you, and in this quiet space, another truth emerges, one that will guide the next part of your journey. The realization that much of the weight you carry is simply the mind trying to control what it never needed to control at all. This understanding opens naturally into a deeper exploration of how thoughts form, why they cling, and how a gentle awareness begins to dissolve them. Slowly, like mist fading in the morning sun. You feel the quiet deepening now, not as something you try to create, but as something that naturally rises when you stop resisting your own mind. Overthinking often feels like a heavy backpack you forgot you were wearing eats. Weight so familiar. You no longer notice how it pulls at your shoulders, how it tires you. But here, in this soft darkness, you begin gently noticing the weight you carry, the mental load you've held for far too long. Your breath moves in and out, slow and steady. Each exhale softens that weight just a little more. The Stoics believed that much of human discomfort doesn't come from the events of life, but from the thoughts we layer on top of them. A simple situation becomes complicated by anticipation, interpretation, fear, memory, comparison, projection. Thoughts multiply, twist, echo. Before long, the mind becomes a crowded room where every voice talks at once. Asterisk, you've felt that, haven't you? That sense of your thoughts running faster than you can keep up. One worry tumbling into another. A chain reaction that starts with something small but expands until your whole inner world feels tight and restless. Asterisk tonight. That chain begins to loosen. Asterisk Seneca wrote that the mind often exaggerates shadows into monsters, creating discomfort. Not from reality itself, but from the stories the mind tells about reality. When you pause here, breathing calmly, you start to differentiate between the moment you're living and the stories your mind has been spinning around it. This separation is the beginning of clarity. You take another breath, slow, gentle, unforced. As you exhale, imagine placing down one small piece of your mental weight. It could be something unresolved, something unfinished, something that tugged at your attention all day. The exact shape doesn't matter. You simply set it down without needing to solve it. The mind is not designed to carry everything all at once. Imagine a long wooden table in a quiet room, simple, smooth, lit by the warm glow of a candle. This table is empty, inviting, spacious. You place one thought on it, then step back. It stays there, held safely outside of you. You don't need to do anything with it. You don't need to judge it. The table holds it for the night. Asterisk another. Breath comes, and you place one more piece of mental weight on that table. Slowly, gently, you begin to feel lighter, as if each exhale creates a bit more space around your thoughts. Asterisk, there's a calm that comes from knowing you don't have to carry everything right now. The night can hold some of it for you. Asterisk Marcus Aurelius. Writing centuries ago during sleepless nights of responsibility, once noted that humans are remarkable in their ability to endure, but often unwise in the burdens they choose to carry. He observed that we hold on to imagined futures, replayed pasts, and social expectations more tightly than necessary. He learned, slowly, that clarity begins with recognizing what is not yours to hold. As emperor, he faced endless pressures, decisions affecting millions, crises unfolding without warning, the weight of a nation balancing on his choices. And yet, in the quiet of his tent on distant battlefields, he would write reminders to himself. Let go of what you cannot control. Focus only on what stands before you. Release the rest. You breathe in, and as you exhale, you sense something similar happening inside you, an easing of the grip you didn't realize had tightened around your thoughts. Asterisk. Overthinking is often a form of over-responsibility, the mind trying to manage every possibility, every outcome, every scenario. But tonight, you allow your mind to step back from that impossible task. You let your thoughts settle like snowflakes, drifting slowly to the ground, one by one, until the air grows quiet again. Asterisk, now imagine yourself walking through a narrow stone path at dusk. The walls on either side are warm from the lingering heat of the day. Above you, the sky is shifting from gold to soft indigo. The evening breeze brushes your skin. You hear distant footsteps, calm and unhurried, someone walking at a peaceful pace. The city around you is winding down, lanterns flickering to life across quiet windows. You join the slowing rhythm, your own steps becoming softer, more grounded, more present. Asterisk, you approach an open doorway leading into a small courtyard. where an old fig tree stretches its branches overhead. You step inside. The world becomes instantly quieter. The breeze moves through leaves with a delicate whisper. A clay cup rests on a low stone bench, still warm from tea recently poured. You sit, feeling the stone cool beneath you. Here, in this hidden space, you notice that your thoughts begin to lose their urgency. Asterisk each breath brings you deeper into stillness. Asterisk, this is what the Stoics meant when they spoke of returning to yourself. It wasn't about isolation. It was about creating inner spaciousness, a pause, a breath, a quiet clearing where the mind can rest. Asterisk, you may find that certain thoughts try to pull you back into the tangle. Worries about tomorrow, conversations replaying from earlier, decisions yet to be made. When they appear, you don't push them away. Instead, you observe them with the same gentle curiosity you'd give a passing cloud. You watch them, see how they form. Notice how they drift. Observing dissolves their power. This is where another Stoic insight emerges. Thoughts are not commands. They are suggestions. They come and go. You choose which ones to follow. Asterisk, as the night grows deeper around you, this understanding begins to settle inside you like a soft stone placed in calm water, steady, grounding, reassuring. You don't need to fix your thoughts. You only need to stop gripping them so tightly. Asterisk, you breathe, and the weight lightens again. Asterisk, this gentle recognition leads naturally towards something deeper, the realization that thoughts cling most tightly. When you believe, they define you. But when you see them as passing movements of the mind, you can let them flow, and watch as their grip begins to dissolve into the quiet. Your breath moves more steadily now. Slow, quiet waves rolling in and out, creating a gentle rhythm your mind begins to follow. As the spaces between thoughts widen, you start to sense something the Stoics considered essential: the difference between what you can control and what you never could. Asterisk, this simple distinction is often the key to loosening the mental knots that cause overthinking. And tonight, in this deepening calm, you begin to feel it not as an idea but as a soft, embodied truth settling through you like warm light. Asterisk, the Stoics called it the dichotomy of control, the understanding that some things depend on you, while many things do not. Your thoughts, your intentions, your actions, these are yours. But the outcomes, the reactions of others, the unfolding of the world, those were never fully in your hands. Asterisk, when the mind tries to control what lies beyond, its reach, it tightens. It spirals. It overthinks. Asterisk, when it focuses on what is truly yours. It breathes. Asterisk, you feel that now. Your breath, this moment, your presence here in the softness of the night, these are within your influence. Everything else, the mind can gently release, the way you'd open your hand to let a small bird fly free. Asterisk, as you inhale, sense the part of your life that is yours. As you exhale, let go of everything that was never meant to be carried. Asterisk, Epictetus often reminded his students that distress arises not from events, but from wanting them to be different. He compared the mind's struggle to a dog tied to a moving cart. When the dog fights the motion, it is dragged. When it walks beside the cart, it moves freely. You may smile quietly at the image, but the wisdom is gentle and true. Peace comes from aligning with what you can influence, not resisting what you cannot. Asterisk tonight, you walk beside the cart of life, step by step, breath by breath, soft, unhurried. Asterisk, you sense this truth deepening as you lie here. If your mind has been busy today spinning through what-ifs, trying to predict outcomes, repeating scenarios, that busyness usually arises from wrestling with things beyond your reach. But now, wrapped in the quiet dark, you allow those struggles to loosen. You invite your mind to rest in what is simple, immediate, and real. Asterisk, to feel this more fully, imagine yourself seated on a smooth stone bench overlooking an ancient harbor. The sun has just set, leaving the sky tinted with rose and gold. Ships sway gently on the water, their masts creaking softly. A salty breeze touches your skin. You breathe it in, slow, deep, grounding. Asterisk, fishermen tie their boats for the night, their lanterns glowing like distant fireflies. A calm settles over the water as waves roll in with a soft rhythm. You watch without judgment, without urgency. The tide comes, the tide goes. Nothing you do can change its movement. And yet, your watching is peaceful. You are not fighting the world's rhythm. You are simply witnessing it. Asterisk, this is the essence of the Stoic insight. Your peace grows not from controlling the world, but from moving with it. Asterisk, the philosopher Zeno, founder of Stoicism, learned this lesson after losing everything in a shipwreck. His entire cargo, his livelihood, was swallowed by the sea. Instead of resisting the reality, he accepted it, saying that fortune had guided him toward philosophy. What could have been turmoil became transformation. His calm acceptance didn't remove the hardship, but it removed the unnecessary suffering built by the mind. Asterisk, you feel a part of that story now. Not the drama, but the clarity. The understanding that while circumstances may move, shift, or surprise you, your response, your inner ground, remains your own. Asterisk, as your breath deepens, you start sensing the relief that comes from releasing what isn't yours. Overthinking loosens, like a knot pulled gently apart. Inhalations create space. Exhalations free you. Asterisk, you lie there, noticing how your body softens. Your shoulders sink. Your stomach relaxes. Your jaw unclenches. These small shifts are quiet acts of control, the kind that matter. The internal chooses calm, even while the external remains vast and unpredictable. Asterisk, you begin to feel a soft spaciousness in your chest, the kind that comes when the mind stops trying to outthink the universe. Your thoughts slow, lengthen, stretch out with more room between them. Asterisk, now, allow a brief moment of pure sensory stillness. Asterisk, you find yourself standing on a shoreline beneath a deepening twilight sky. The last light fades into purples and soft blues. Waves gather at your feet, washing over smooth stones warmed by the day. Each retreating wave pulls tiny grains of sand from under your toes. The sensation is cooling, grounding, soothing. The air tastes faintly of sea salt and drifting night air. Far above, the first stars appear small, steady points of quiet light. You breathe in the ocean's calm. You breathe out your tension. Nothing to fix, nothing to decide. Only the rhythm of the sea and the slow peace settling into your mind. Asterisk, you linger in that scene, letting it seep into your inner world. When you return to your breath, you feel lighter, clearer, softer. The mind doesn't need to chase after distant outcomes. It doesn't need to solve the entire landscape of your life tonight. It can rest in the present, the only place where peace ever grows. Asterisk. This simplicity nudges you toward a realization that often surprises people. Overthinking is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of caring too much about things that were never fully yours to control. And there is compassion in that insight. Instead of fighting your mind, you begin to soothe it. Instead of resisting your thoughts, you observe them with kindness. Asterisk. As the night deepens around you, you feel your mind settling into a new pattern, not trying to predict, not trying to grasp, not trying to resist. Just being, breathing, noticing. Asterisk. This clarity naturally guides you toward another layer of Stoic wisdom, one that Marcus Aurelius turned to repeatedly when his own thoughts grew heavy. The art of returning to the present moment, where the mind becomes steady and the storm within begins to soften into calm. Asterisk. Your breath moves like a tide, and in that rhythm, another truth begins to emerge. When you let go of what isn't yours, what remains becomes beautifully manageable, beautifully peaceful. Asterisk. And from that peaceful foundation, a deeper journey into the nature of inner storms awaits. Your breath settles into an even softer rhythm now, each inhale drifting in like a gentle tide, each exhale dissolving quietly into the dark. The space around you feels wider. The edges of your thoughts blur into something slower, calmer. And in this deepening quiet, you begin to approach a truth Marcus Aurelius knew intimately, the truth of weathering the storm within. Asterisk. Marcus lived with pressures almost unimaginable. Emperor, commander, philosopher, carrying the weight of an empire on his shoulders, making decisions that shaped the lives of millions. Yet the storms he wrestled most were not on battlefields or in senate halls. They were inside Jimin, the restless churn of thoughts, expectations, fears, responsibilities, the same inner storm you sometimes feel. Though your world is your own, the mind reacts with the same intensity. Asterisk. He wrote his meditations not as a grand philosophical work for others, but as a quiet reminder to himself during long, sleepless nights. Intense on cold battlefronts, beneath flickering lamplight, he whispered wisdom onto wax tablets as a way of steadying his mind. You sense that same intention, no soft guidance meant only for you in this quiet space, to help your thoughts settle into peace. Asterisk. Your breath flows, slow, warm, grounding. And Marcus's words, though centuries old, fit into this moment. With surprising ease, you have power over your mind, not outside events. He wrote this not as a slogan, but as a lifeline, a reminder that storms outside may rage, but storms inside can be softened with the gentlest attention. Asterisk. You feel that gentle attention now as you lie here. Overthinking often feels like weather, sudden, overwhelming, unpredictable. A single thought becomes a gust of wind. A worry becomes thunder forming on the horizon. But when you slow down, when you breathe, when you observe calmly, the storm begins to shift. Not by force, but by awareness. Asterisk. Imagine standing beneath a wide Roman archway at dawn. Rain falls softly beyond the stone shelter. The world washed clean by the night storm. The ground glistens. The air carries the scent of wet earth and cool morning air. You step forward, feet touching puddles that ripple lightly around you. A quiet stillness fills the space between raindrops. The storm is past, leaving only freshness, clarity, and a soft hum in the air. Asterisk, this is the inner shift. Marcus sought moving from the storming mind to the clear ground beneath it. Asterisk, you feel. The parallel inside you now. Thoughts still appear, but they come more slowly, gently, without the force they once held. Instead of being swept up, you watch them. Instead of tightening around them, you breathe through them. Asterisks in this softening. You begin to understand something Marcus learned slowly. Storms don't disappear because you fight them. They're quiet because you stop feeding them. Asterisks, you often faced moments of overwhelming responsibility, messages arriving day and night, crises unfolding, people waiting for answers. And yet in his private writings, he reminded himself to return to simplicity. If it is beyond your control, let it go. If it is within your control, act calmly. If it is neither, return to your breath. Asterisks, you feel the wisdom of that third reminder now. The return to your breath as an anchor. Your breath is steady, gentle, a soft rope you hold onto while thoughts swirl around it. With each inhale, you draw yourself back into calm. With each exhale, you release another layer of mental tension. Asterisk, some storms come from pressure. The pressure to get everything right, to predict every outcome, to avoid every mistake. Others come from memory, from moments replaying again and again, trying to rewrite themselves in your mind. Others come from fear, fear of uncertainty, fear of what might go wrong, fear of not being enough. Asterisk, the Stoics understood these storms. Well, they faced them, too. And they found peace not by defeating the storm, but by stepping out of its center, observing it from a still point deep within. Asterisk, to feel that stillness more fully. Imagine yourself standing in a circular stone room. The ceiling is open to the sky, where dark clouds swirl far above. But inside the room, the air is calm. You watch the clouds move, but no wind touches you. Raindrops fall outside, but the floor beneath you remains dry. Lightning flashes in the distance, illuminating the sky for a heartbeat. But inside, the space stays serene. You breathe. You feel the solidity of the stone floor beneath your feet. You feel the gentle weight of the air around you. The storm exists, but it cannot reach you here. Asterisk, this is the inner sanctuary Marcus built for himself, the sanctuary you build tonight. A place where thoughts may move, but peace remains. A place where the mind may speak, but the heart stays. Quiet, asterisk, you linger in that sanctuary for a moment, letting the calm seep into your body. Your muscles loosen. Your breath stretches out. Your mind softens further. Overthinking loses its force because you are no longer tangled in it, watching it from a distance. Like weather passing through the sky, asterisk, the truth, Marcus. Return to again and again one you feel settling inside you knows that the storm is never the problem. The problem is believing you are the storm. But tonight, you feel the separation. You are the quiet observer, the calm center, the steady presence beneath shifting thoughts. Asterisk, your body continues melting into the surface beneath you, shoulders relaxing, chest opening, legs sinking deeper into heaviness. A warm, weighted stillness spreads across you like a blanket. Thoughts drift by with less urgency. The air around you feels thicker, softer, more peaceful. Asterisk, and as this calm deepens, another layer of Stoic insight begins to rise gently into awareness. The pressure you carry, expectations, comparisons, self-judgments can soften too. The mind's demands can loosen. The weight of shoulds can fall away. Asterisk, the softening of the storm leads naturally to a softening of the expectations you place upon yourself, an easing of the inner critic, a gentle release of perfectionism that has tugged at you for far too long. Asterisk, your breath slows, your thoughts quiet, and through that quiet, the next step of your journey begins to form like dawn on the horizon. Your breath moves in a slow, steady rhythm now, a soft rise, a gentle fall, and with each exhale, something inside you loosens further. The inner storm has quieted, the winds have softened, and what remains is a stillness where you can. Finally notice the quieter weights you carry, the subtle pressures that settle over you during the day like fine dust. Expectations, judgments, the quiet feeling of never quite doing enough. Asterisk, tonight, those pressures begin to dissolve. Asterisk, overthinking often grows from an invisible root. The belief that you must meet every expectation, internal or external, flawlessly. The belief that you must get everything right, say the right thing, make the right decision, handle every moment perfectly. But perfection has a way of tightening the mind, compressing your breath, and turning simple thoughts into restless spirals. Asterisk, the Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that perfectionism is not a path to virtue, it's a path to exhaustion. Marcus Aurelius wrote gently to himself, "Do what you can. Do it with honesty. Leave the rest behind." There is no demand for flawlessness in his words. Only sincerity, effort, and release. Asterisk, you feel that release now, spreading slowly through your body. Asterisk, imagine yourself sitting beneath a fig tree in the early morning sunlight. The ground is cool beneath you. Leaves cast soft patterns of shade that shift with the breeze. In front of you lies a small scroll, unfinished, imperfect, edges slightly worn. It contains notes you've written across the years, some thoughtful, some hurried, some crossed out entirely. And yet, this scroll represents your genuine effort. Imperfect, but real. Honest, asterisk, you breathe. And allow yourself to soften toward your own imperfections, the way sunlight softens toward the uneven ground. Asterisk. Seneca once wrote that a person grows not through perfection, but through progress made with patience and kindness toward oneself. He gently reminded his students that the mind becomes calmer when it stops demanding what isn't human. Overthinking often grows when you believe the voice that says, "Not enough, not yet, not right." Asterisk, but here, in the softness of this night, you begin to see that voice for what it is, a tired habit, not a truth. Asterisk, your breath deepens, and with each inhale, you feel a little more spacious. With each exhale, you release one thread of pressure. You let go of the need to have done everything right today. You let go of the weight of unfinished tasks. You let go of the silent comparisons, the mental checklists, the quiet sense of falling short that never truly belonged to you. You can feel those pressures dissolving like sugar in warm tea. Now, imagine walking through a long colonnadal marble pillars rising on either side, their surfaces warm from the sun. The walkway stretches calmly ahead, open and inviting. You walk slowly, your sandals brushing lightly against the stone floor. There is no hurry, no race, no finish line. Only a steady rhythm of steps matching the rhythm of your breath. Asterisk at the end of the colonnade. You see an older Stoic teacher knot. Stern, not demanding, but warm-eyed and gentle. The kind of teacher who sees effort rather than flaw. He greets you not with judgment, but with understanding. He knows the pressure you've carried. He knows how heavy the mind becomes when it tries too hard to meet every expectation. Asterisk. He gestures to a single wooden stool beside him. You sit. Your body softens instantly. The air feels cool. Your heartbeat slows. Asterisk, he reminds you, in a soft voice, that you are allowed to be human, allowed to grow, allowed to rest, allowed to release the heavy perfectionism that has weighed on you without notice. You breathe in that permission now, deeply, fully. Your shoulders relax further, your spine settles, your thoughts spread out like birds resting on quiet branches. Asterisk in this space. You begin recognizing that expectations, especially the ones you place upon yourself, can be set down gently, like weights removed from tired hands. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to justify your need for peace. You don't need to be perfect to deserve sleep. Asterisk, the Stoic idea of moderation, of gentle sufficiency, begins to rise inside you as a warm, reassuring presence. It tells you that the world does not need your perfection. It needs your steadiness, your sincerity, your ability to return to yourself without harshness. Asterisk, as your breath deepens, reflect softly without effort in this truth. Every person who has ever lived has stumbled. Every philosopher you admire made mistakes. Every wise figure faced moments of uncertainty. Stoicism is not about never failing. It's about meeting your humanity with patience and continuing forward with calm intention. Asterisk. Now picture yourself in a quiet field as the sun sets. Tall grass waves gently around you, shimmering in golden light. A warm breeze touches your face. The sky shifts from gold to amber, then to rose, then to soft violet. You lie back in the grass and feel the earth holding you. The world does not ask anything from you in this moment. Not effort, not accomplishment, not perfection. Only presence. Asterisk in this field, the weight of expectations falls away naturally. You no longer feel the tug of mental pressure. The sky above you opens wide, spacious and quiet. Thoughts drift across it slowly, harmlessly, without urgency. Asterisk, and as you breathe in that vastness, you sense the next layer of Stoic wisdom emerging, one that will gently reshape how you respond to thoughts themselves. The art of letting them pass, the way clouds pass across an open sky, leaving no trace behind. Your breath moves in quiet, even waves now. A soft rise, a gentle fall, and in that rhythm, you begin to feel something subtle shifting inside you. The weight of expectations has loosened. The storm has quieted. And now you're ready to explore one of the most soothing truths the Stoics ever taught. Thoughts are not commands. They are simply visitors, passing shapes in the mind, movements of air across an open field. You don't have to follow every thought. You don't have to believe every thought. You don't have to hold every thought. You can let them come and let them go. Asterisk. Epictetus understood this deeply. He taught his students that freedom begins the moment you learn to watch your thoughts without obeying them. It is not the things themselves that disturb us, he said, but the judgments. We attach to them, and often those judgments appear automatically like echoes, like habits, like old patterns repeating themselves without your permission. Asterisk tonight. In the softness of this quiet space, you start learning to let those judgments drift through your awareness without getting tangled in them. Asterisk, your breath moves slowly, gently, as you sense the difference between observing a thought and becoming it. Picture a single thought rising in your mind, something small, familiar, maybe even slightly anxious. Instead of grabbing it, you simply watch it. You feel how it rises, peaks, and begins to fade. You don't hold it. You don't chase it. You don't feed it. And in that simple choice, the thought loses its weight. Asterisk, this is how the mind becomes calm. Not by force, but by allowing movement. Asterisk, now, imagine yourself standing beside a wide river at dusk. The water flows slowly, reflecting deep blue and molten gold as the sun sinks low on the horizon. Leaves drift across the surface, carried downstream. With barely a sound, you pick up a leaf, smooth, amber-colored, delicate, and gently place it on the river's surface. You watch as the current takes it. No rush, no effort. It simply drifts away, becoming smaller and smaller until it disappears around a gentle bend. Asterisk, this is how a thought can leave your mind. Asterisk, you place it gently on the moving water of your awareness and let it drift. Asterisk, another breath, another thought, another leaf. The river carries each one without complaint, without attachment. You begin to sense how naturally this works, how effortlessly thoughts move when you don't hold them tightly. Asterisk. Epictetus often spoke about this. His teachings were not abstract. They were practical tools for taming the restless mind. He believed that peace comes when you treat thoughts like rumors whispered in a marketplace. Most are unhelpful, some are untrue, and none require your immediate reaction. When a troubling thought appears, he suggested quietly asking, "Is this truly mine?" If not, you let it go. Feel how freeing that question is. You lie here, breath deep, body heavy, mind softening, and you sense that many of the thoughts that trouble you, the what-ifs, the imagined futures, the replayed conversations, were never truly yours to hold. They were simply passing impressions, visitors, shadows. Asterisk, now, let yourself sink deeper into a brief moment of pure meditative stillness. Asterisk, you find yourself in a dim, ancient library. Tall shelves rise around you, filled with worn scrolls and quiet wisdom. Dust motes float lazily in warm, golden light from a single high window. The air smells of old parchment and gentle age. You walk slowly down a narrow aisle, fingertips brushing the smooth wood of the shelves. Everything is silent except for the soft rhythm of your footsteps. You reach a long reading table where a single candle flickers. You sit. The chair creaks softly beneath you. You close your eyes. Feel the quiet hum of the room. Feel your breath flowing through your body like a slow wind through old halls. Thoughts appear like faint whispers, but the silence around them is wider, calmer, deeper. Asterisk, you open your eyes to the candle's steady glows, flame swaying slightly, yet never losing its shape. That flame is like your awareness, steady, warm, grounded, untouched by the movement around it. Asterisk, you feel that steadiness growing inside you. Asterisk as you sink further into the night. You start recognizing the truth. Overthinking is simply the mind trying to protect you. But protection does not require constant noise. It does not require constant vigilance. It certainly does not require clinging to every passing thought. The mind can care without overworking. Asterisk when a thought arises, know any thought. Even a familiar anxious one, you allow it to float. You watch its shape soften. You feel how its intensity fades the moment you stop tightening around it. Asterisk this gentle skill becomes easier with each breath. You begin to sense an inner spaciousness forming around your thoughts, like wide sky around. Drifting clouds. You no longer fear the thoughts that arrive. They have no power when you let them pass. Asterisk, and as the night deepens, you start feeling something else, something beautifully simple. The realization that calm is not the absence of thought, but the soft, compassionate relationship you form with your thoughts. Asterisk that realization opens naturally into the next truth, waiting gently ahead. Once you learn to let thoughts pass, you begin to discover how to find pockets of stillness in the ear. Middle of daily chaos. Moments of peace that no noise can take away. Asterisk your breath deepens. Your body warms with heaviness. And your mind prepares to enter that next layer of ease. Your breath moves in long, unbroken waves now. Each inhale drifting in like warm night air. Each exhale softening your entire body into deeper rest. The weight of your thoughts has loosened. Their grip has faded. And now, in this gentler space, you begin to sense something new, the possibility of stillness within the movement of life. A calm that remains even when your day becomes loud, busy, unpredictable. Asterisk the Stoics lived in bustling, chaotic cities, markets shouting, carts rolling, crowds moving in all directions, yet they discovered small pockets of quiet within themselves. Places they could return to no matter what was happening around them. Tonight, you begin to cultivate that same inner room, a sanctuary you can step into at any moment. Asterisk your breath slow, steady, grounding you. Asterisk daily life is rarely peaceful. There are responsibilities, conversations, deadlines, surprises. And often the mind tries to keep pace with everything at once, jumping ahead, doubling back, turning simple moments into complex ones. But calm doesn't require a quiet world. It only requires a quiet moment inside yourself, even if it's just a few seconds long. You begin to feel how that works now. Imagine walking through a busy Roman street in the late afternoon. Merchants call to passers-by, offering figs, olives, honey. Children run through the crowd, laughing. Metalworkers hammer bronze in rhythmic strikes. The air vibrates with noise, movement, heat. Yet as you walk, you hold a slow breath. And suddenly the crowd feels softer. The noise becomes distant. The movement becomes a background rhythm rather than a wave crashing over you. Asterisk, this is what the Stoics discovered. When you ground yourself internally, the world stops overwhelming you. Asterisk Epictetus taught a simple method for this one that fits perfectly into modern life. He said, pause, see clearly, then act. Just a pause, just a breath, just a moment where you return to yourself before engaging with the world. You don't have to become a monk. You don't need silence or emptiness. You only need a mindful second where your breath anchors you and your mind settles. Asterisk, you breathe now, slowly, feeling the weight of your body sinking deeper into comfort. You feel how a single breath can change your inner landscape. You begin, sensing that peaceful awareness forming inside you, a small, warm light at the center of your chest. Asterisk, when life becomes chaotic, that light remains. Asterisk, to feel this more deeply, picture yourself stepping inside a small, shaded garden hidden between tall city buildings. The moment you enter, the noise outside becomes a muted hum. Olive trees line the edges, their leaves whispering in the wind. A stone path curves around a simple fountain where water falls in steady beads. The air feels cooler here, calmer, scented with rosemary and earth warmed by the sun. Asterisk, you sit on a low wooden bench beneath the shade of an old fig tree. Leaves sway gently above you, casting shifting shapes of light across your skin. You take a slow breath, and the world softens. This garden is your inner stillness. Even when the world outside is loud, you can step back into this feeling. You can pause, breathe, and let your mind return to this quiet space that lives within you. Asterisk, Marcus Aurelius did this often. As emperor, he couldn't escape the chaos of courts, the arguments, the responsibilities. Yet he wrote, "Nowhere can you find a more peaceful retreat than in your own soul." He believed that every person carries a quiet inner room, a sanctuary that cannot be taken or shaken by external noise. Asterisk, you feel that room forming inside you now? Asterisk, even here, lying in the dark, you sense how real that inner space is. Your breath nurtures it. Your awareness anchors it. Your calm expands with each slow exhale. Asterisk, you might notice how certain thoughts try to pull you back toward busyness, as if your mind wants to rehearse or prepare or analyze. This is natural, but now you have a new skill. Instead of tightening, you breathe. Instead of following a thought, you observe it. Instead of reacting, you rest. Asterisk, the world will always have movement, but your mind does not have to move with it. Asterisk, you breathe again. Slow, warm, steady. Your body sinks deeper into the bed, heavy and peaceful. Your thoughts float softly like feathers. And now, let yourself slip into another meditative journey. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast desert just as evening settles. The sand glows gently with the last golden light of day. The sky stretches open above you in endless shades of ember, rose, and deepening violet. A warm breeze brushes across your skin, carrying the faint scent of sage. You take a few slow steps forward, the sand shifting softly beneath your feet. Asterisk, though the desert is silent, it doesn't feel empty. It feels spacious, generous, open. You breathe in that openness. The air fills your lungs with warmth. You breathe out, releasing the last bits of tightness from your chest. Asterisk, a distant mountain range becomes a soft silhouette. Stars begin appearing one by one, scattered across a velvet sky. The sand cools beneath your feet. You close your eyes, and the entire desert seems to breathe with you. Expansive, peaceful, unhurried. Asterisk, there is nothing demanding your attention here. Nothing pulling at you. Only space, only breath, only stillness. Asterisk, you carry that desert inside you as you return to yourself. It isn't just a vision, it's a reflection of the stillness you're cultivating. The sense that no matter where you are, no matter what happens, there is always a quiet place available inside you. Asterisk, a place beyond noise. Asterisk, beyond pressure. Beyond overthinking. A place where you can return again and again. Asterisk, as you rest here, you begin to sense something else, gently resenga curiosity. A quiet pull toward the wisdom carried by ancient and ordinary people alike. Stories of calm that came from courage, from acceptance, from resilience. Stories that reveal how humans throughout history have found peace in overwhelming circumstances. Asterisks and those stories, waiting softly just ahead, will guide you deeper into understanding how to cultivate serenity not just in quiet nights, but in the full complexity of life. Asterisk, your breath slows, your mind softens, and the next layer of wisdom approaches like a lantern flickering to life in the dark. Your breath drifts in soft, steady waves now, each inhale rising like a gentle tide, each exhale dissolving quietly into the dark. You have entered a deeper softness, a slower rhythm, a quieter mind. The stillness you've been cultivating begins to feel natural, something you can return to without effort. And now, in this peaceful space, you're ready to walk among the stories of ancient minds who found serenity not through perfect lives, but through imperfect moments met with wisdom. Asterisk, these stories aren't loud, dramatic, or grand. They're quiet realizations, small shifts that changed the inner lives of ordinary and extraordinary people alike. Tonight, these stories drift toward you like warm lanterns glowing in the dark. Asterisk, your breath deepens, and the first lantern becomes visible. Asterisk, one story comes from Cleanthus, a Stoic philosopher who worked nights hauling water before he ever became a teacher. His hands were rough, his back often ached. He lived in a world where survival itself was a daily task, yet he carried a calm so steady that even his harshest critics admired him. People wondered how someone with so little security could radiate such peace. Asterisk, Cleanthus explained it simply. When he carried the heavy jars through the streets at night, he didn't resist the weight. He didn't resent it. He accepted each step. Each moment, each task is something he chose to meet with dignity. This mindset transformed physical strain into a form of meditation. Noise faded. Worry dissolved. He walked with the rhythm of his breath, letting each step align with presence rather than pressure. Asterisk, imagine him now, moving through dim streets, moonlight brushing the jars of water he carried, each footstep steady, each breath calm. Not because life was easy, but because he let go of the mental struggle that made it harder. Asterisk, you feel that same steadiness beginning to settle inside you. Asterisk, another lantern glows, a story of a woman named Portia, daughter of Cato, who grew up surrounded by political conflict and deep uncertainty. But she found her own form of stoic resilience, not in public speeches, but in private moments of courage. When the world around her felt chaotic, she practiced a simple technique. She breathed deeply and named the present moment, not tomorrow, not the fears, not the possible outcomes, only what was directly in front of her. Asterisk, she discovered that naming the present anchored her mind. A cup on a table, a beam of light across the floor, the warmth of her breath. In those moments, the rushing swirl of worry became manageable, and although her life contained storms she couldn't control, her ability to return to the present allowed her to keep calm in situations that would overwhelm most people. Asterisk, you breathe deeply now, feeling how naming the present moment, this softness, this warmth, this quiet draws your mind back from the edges where worry begins to form. Asterisk another. Lantern flickers a story from a Roman merchant, largely unknown to history, but preserved in a letter. His name is not important. What matters is his realization. He discovered calm during the busiest season of his trade, while others panicked, rushed, argued, stressed. He stepped aside one morning, leaned against a wooden beam, and simply observed the market without losing himself in its noise. Asterisk, he noticed how most stress came not from events, but from engagement, mental entanglement in things that didn't require it. So he practiced stepping back internally, even while standing in the center of the crowd. He trained his breath to stay slow, his shoulders relaxed, his jaw soft. When he felt overwhelmed, he reminded himself, only this moment matters. Asterisk, he learned to be calm without withdrawing from life. Asterisk, and you begin to feel that same possibility opening inside you. The ability to stay quiet on the inside even when the outside moves quickly. Asterisk now. Allow yourself to drift into a meditative scene, shaped by these stories. Asterisk, you walk along a narrow stone path leading to a quiet village at the foot of rolling hills. Lanterns glow softly in windows. The air is cool, scented with earth and distant wood smoke. As you pass through the village, you begin to notice small details, the curve of an old wooden door, the sound of a loom turning inside a workshop, the gentle murmur of a brook flowing behind the houses. Asterisk, you step onto a small wooden bridge, its surface smooth from years of footsteps. Beneath you, water moves slowly over polished stones, reflecting silver light from the moon. You lean on the railing, feeling its coolness against your hands. The night around you is calm but alive, crickets chirping softly, leaves rustling, water whispering beneath your feet. Asterisk, in this moment, you feel connected to every person in history who has ever paused, breathed, allowed stillness to rise within them. Even when life felt uncertain, Asterisk, you feel yourself soften further, sinking into the warm hum of the night. Asterisk, these ancient stories, the water carrier walking in moonlight, portier breathing through uncertainty, the merchant stepping out of the chaos are reminders that serenity doesn't come from escaping life. It comes from meeting life with a calm, steady presence. Asterisk, you begin sensing how their wisdom blends with your own experience. Their stories are not relics, they are maps, quiet guidance for quiet minds. Asterisk, you breathe, slow, grounded, peaceful. Asterisk, and as your mind rests deeper into the night, another insight begins forming gently. These ancient stories reveal something profound. That inner peace grows when you accept impermanence, when you stop holding tightly to what must inevitably change, when you let life move at its natural rhythm without trying to freeze it. Asterisk, that next layer of wisdom approaches softly, like the rising moon illuminating the path ahead. Asterisk, your breath falls into deeper rhythm, your body grows heavier, and you drift toward the understanding that accepting impermanence dissolves anxiety at its root. Your breath moves in long, velvety waves now, each inhale rising softly through your chest, each exhale melting you deeper into the stillness beneath you. The stories of ancient calm still glow faintly in your mind like warm lanterns drifting into distance, and from their fading light, a deeper truth begins to reveal itself. a truth the Stoics considered essential for dissolving worry at its root. Everything changes, everything moves. Asterisk nothing is fixed, and nothing needs to be. Asterisk impermanence is not a threat, it is a release. Your breath steadies as this realization begins to settle, gentle as falling dusk. Asterisk the anxiety of overthinking often comes from trying to hold life, still trying to preserve. Outcomes, grasp onto moments, freeze situations just long enough to feel safe. But life is a river, ever moving. When you try to dam its flow, your mind strains. When you let it move, something inside you loosens, opens, softens. Asterisk. Tonight, you begin to feel the deep freedom that comes from accepting impermanence not intellectually, but viscerally, in the rhythm of your breath. Asterisk inhale. The present moment arrives. Asterisk exhale. And it passes effortlessly. Asterisk this passing is natural. This passing is peaceful. Asterisk Marcus Aurelius wrote often about this. In the quiet of night, he would remind himself, all things vanish, not to be feared. But understood, he wasn't being morbid. He was softening his relationship to change, teaching himself not to cling to what couldn't stay. Asterisk, you feel that now your breath carrying you gently through each moment, never needing to hold on to. The last one. Asterisk, imagine yourself walking through a grove of olive trees at dusk. Leaves shimmer silver in the evening wind. The ground is warm but cooling, the scent of earth rising gently around you. You reach out and brush your fingertips along the rough bark of an old tree, its trunk twisted by centuries, its branches shaped by countless seasons. Asterisk, this tree has shed its leaves 1,000 times. Let them fall without resistance. Let them return without effort. Nothing in nature clings. Nothing resists its own unfolding. Asterisk, you breathe, and feel how the tree's acceptance mirrors your own growing ease. Asterisk, the Stoics embraced impermanence, not with sadness, but with relief. They saw change as the universe's way of clearing space, removing what no longer serves, opening new paths, simplifying what had become tangled. Asterisk Seneca wrote that life moves the way wind moves through long grass, bending it, reshaping it, but never intending harm. The mind suffers only when it tries to freeze the wind. Asterisk, you may recognize that tendency within yourself. Moments when you wanted a situation to stay the same, or wanted a worry resolved instantly, or feared a shift you couldn't control. Overthinking grows from these tight places in the mind. But as you breathe here, slow and warm and deep, you feel those tight places beginning to loosen. Asterisk, now allow yourself to drift into a meditative moment. Asterisk, you stand on the shore at twilight, where ocean meets land. The sky stretches wide above you, shades of violet and deepening blue. The tide rolls in, touching your feet with cool, foamy water, then retreats with a whisper. Again the water approaches. Again it recedes. Each wave is completely new. Each wave is completely temporary. You watch them come and go, your breath matching their rhythm. Inhale, arrival. Asterisk exhale. Release. Asterisk you. Feel the truth of impermanence in your body, the relief of letting everything move at its natural pace. The sand shifts beneath your toes. The horizon darkens. Stars flicker awake slowly in the vastness of the sky. Asterisk, nothing is permanent. And that is why peace becomes possible. Asterisk, if moments lasted forever, mistakes would linger. Worries would remain sharp. Pain would have no end. But everything changes. Everything softens. Even the memories you cling to, even the fears that once felt solid, they fade, shift, dissolve over time. Asterisk, you breathe, letting this truth settle, like warm sand around your body. Asterisk, the Stoic Chrysippus, often called the mind behind early Stoic logic, liked to remind his students that reality is always in motion. He compared life to a mighty river never, the same from one moment to the next. When you step into it, you step into movement. When you let it carry you, you move with grace. Asterisk, you feel the river inside you, now soft currents of thought, emotion, and breath flowing gently through you without needing to be held or resisted. Asterisk, as your breath deepens, you begin to sense something profound. Many of the thoughts that trouble you are simply moments that haven't yet passed through. They linger because the mind tightens around them. But when you allow impermanence, when you truly feel the rhythm of this to passes, your thoughts become lighter, softer, easier to release. You can feel that happening now. The mind, once tangled in loops, now moves more like a drifting cloud. Thoughts appear, stretch, dissolve. No effort needed. You breathe into that softness. And now picture yourself walking through a vast field as night settles fully. The tall grass sways around your legs, whispering softly. Fireflies blink in the air, their lights appearing and disappearing, like tiny stars. The sky above you has become a wide, dark canvas scattered with constellations. You feel a gentle breeze moving across the open space, cooling your skin, carrying the scent of night flowers. Asterisk, you walk slowly, barefoot, feeling the cool earth beneath you. Asterisk, nothing here stays still. The grass moves. The wind changes direction. The stars shift in the sky. Even your own breath flows endlessly from one moment into the next. Asterisk, but the movement doesn't disturb you. It calms you. It reminds you that everything is meant to move, and that nothing requires your tight grip. Asterisk, you lie down in the grass, feeling its soft weight cradle your body. Above you, the stars shimmer with ancient light. Some of the stars you see have already died, their light just now reaching you. Even starlight is impermanent, and yet profoundly beautiful. Asterisk, you take a slow breath, letting that thought settle through your body like a warm tide. Impermanence stops being something to fear. It becomes something to rest in. Asterisk, because when you allow everything to move, you finally feel still. Asterisk, this growing stillness inside you prepares the way for an even deeper shift, the softening of your relationship with time itself, not rushing toward the future, not replaying the past, but relaxing into a slower, gentler sense of time where the mind stops racing and begins to rest fully. Asterisk, that next layer of calm approaches, like the moon rising slowly over the horizon, steady, inevitable, beautifully quiet. Asterisk, your breath moves, your body sinks, and the night deepens around you. Your breath flows in long, quiet waves now, each inhale drifting in like cool night air, each exhale dissolving into softness that spreads through your entire body. The understanding of impermanence has settled gently inside you, loosening the mind's grip on what it once tried to hold tightly. And from that loosening, another truth arises naturally, soft as moonlight, steady as the rhythm of your breath. You do not have to rush. You do not have to rest. Time is not chasing you. Your mind is allowed to slow. Overthinking often grows from a strained relationship with time, a sense of being behind, or running out, or needing to hurry toward futures not yet formed. But the Stoics saw time differently. They believed that calm comes when you return to the present moment and allow it to unfold at its natural pace. Tonight, your breath becomes your guide back to that slower rhythm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The present is enough." Simple words, but profound. He wasn't saying the present is perfect, only that it's the only place where your mind can truly rest. The past has already moved beyond your reach. The future has not yet arrived. Worry lives in those two distant places. Peace lives here. You breathe in, feeling the present moment unfold. You breathe out, releasing the pull of time. You feel something shift, your inner clocks slowing, the anxious ticking fading into quiet. Imagine a large sundial in an open courtyard. The stone is warm from the sun, the shadow moving slowly across its surface. There is no rush. Nothing urges the shadow to move faster. It follows the sun's pace perfectly, naturally, without strain. As you watch it, you begin to sense the same gentle pace rising inside you. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to anticipate every moment ahead. You can simply rest where you are. Your breath softens. Your shoulders sink deeper. Your thoughts spread out into open space. Another Stoic teacher, Aurelius, taught that wisdom is not about controlling time, but about aligning yourself with its natural flow. When you try to outrun time, the mind tightens. When you relax into its rhythm, you feel supported by something larger than your thoughts, by the gentle unfolding of life itself. You sense that unfolding now. Allow yourself to slip into a meditative scene. You walk through a valley at dusk. Tall grass sways in slow waves around you. The sky above stretches wide, painted in deep blues and soft rose. A river winds through the valley, its surface smooth, reflecting the first stars. The water's movement is steady, unhurried. You kneel beside it, placing your fingertips on the cool surface. Tiny ripples expand outward, disappearing into the greater flow of the river. Nothing in this valley rushes, nothing pushes forward. Everything moves at the pace of nature, effortless, calm, eternal. You stand slowly, feeling the breeze brush your skin, carrying the scent of distant pine. Somewhere in the valley, a quiet bell chimes a deep, soft tone that vibrates gently through the air. It rings slowly, spaciously, as if time itself takes a long breath between each sound. You breathe with that same spacious rhythm. This slowing begins to settle into your bones, into your chest, into your mind. The race dissolves. The urgency fades. The sense of not enough time melts into an open sense of this moment is plenty. Seneca once wrote that people waste more time worrying about losing time than they lose by simply living. He believed that the present moment is always enough when you treat it as enough. And as you lie here, feeling heavier, softer, quieter, you begin to realize how much your mind has been carrying rushing toward futures. replaying pasts, demanding clarity before its time. Tonight, that urgency has softened. The clock inside. You move slower. Your thoughts drift like clouds instead of racing like storms. You inhale gently, allowing the present to expand. You exhale slowly, letting tomorrow wait for tomorrow. Now imagine sitting atop a tall cliff overlooking a vast ocean. Night has fully fallen. The sea stretches into darkness, waves rolling in slow, rhythmic. Breaths, the wind is cool. The stars shimmer above you in silent constellations, each one older than memory. Time feels different here, not a line, not a countdown, but an endless, quiet unfolding. Sit with your legs tucked beneath you, your hands warm against the stone. You breathe, and the ocean breathes with you. The vastness of this moment makes time feel spacious, generous, open. There is no rush, no deadline in the sky. No pressure in the waves, only presence. You feel a deep sense of relief as your mind settles into this slower, more natural pace. A pace that encourages rest, a pace that invites peace, a pace that allows thoughts to dissolve without being chased or analyzed. Your breath becomes the metronome of this calm slow, steady, belonging entirely to the present moment. You lie here, sinking deeper into the softness beneath you. Another truth begins to rise gently from this new relationship with time. When your inner pace slows, when the mind stops racing, you begin to see your thoughts from a new vantage point, not as storms or demands, but as passing movements in a wider, quieter sky. This shift leads naturally into a deeper awareness, where you become the quiet observer of thought itself, not entangled, not pushed, not pulled, just watching, just breathing, just resting. Your breath grows heavier, the night deepens around you, and you drift toward the next layer of calm, where you become the still point at the center of your mind. Your breath settles into an even slower rhythm now, each inhale drifting in like a warm tide, each exhale sinking deeper into the softness beneath you. Time has loosened its grip. The urgency that once tugged at your thoughts has faded into the dark. And now, in this deep quiet, you begin approaching one of the most peaceful states the Stoics ever described. Becoming the observer, the witness, the still point beneath thought. Not pushing thoughts away, not controlling them. Are not correct in them. Simply watching them arise and dissolve. You rest now in the kind of awareness Marcus Aurelius hinted at when he wrote, "The mind in itself is its own calm retreat." He was pointing not to a place or a technique or a rule, but to a shift in perspective. A shift where you stop living inside your thoughts and start watching them from a gentle distance. Your breath moves, slow and steady, guiding you into that shift. Imagine your mind as a wide, quiet sky. Thoughts appear like clouds, some light and passing, some heavier, some drifting slowly, some dissolving almost immediately. But all of them move, none stay. None define the sky. The sky remains vast, spacious, and untouched. You feel that spaciousness growing inside you now. Overthinking loses its power not when thoughts disappear, but when you stop becoming the thoughts. when you watch them instead of entering them, when you notice them instead of chasing them, when you allow them instead of resisting them. You breathe softly and feel the separation. This is what Epictetus meant when he taught his students to stand guard at the mind's gate. Not to fight, never to fight, but to observe, to gently allow some thoughts to pass through without giving them your energy. You sense how natural this becomes in the quiet of night. Now, imagine sitting at the top of a long marble staircase, overlooking an empty amphitheater. The stone beneath you is cool. The space around you is open and still. A faint breeze moves through the columns, carrying the soft sound of distant night insects. Above you, the moon hangs bright and calm in a wide sky. As you sit there, you see your thoughts descending the staircase like quiet figures passing through an open hall. One thought walks down and fades. Another appears, pauses, and disappears. You don't follow them. You don't question them. You simply watch. You remain the still observer at the top of the steps, unmoved, calm. Present. This is the awareness the Stoics cultivated, not an empty mind, but a quiet one. A mind that doesn't cling. Seneca once told a friend that thoughts are like visitors in a busy home. Some come loudly, some come softly, some stay briefly, some linger. But, he said gently, none can take your peace without your permission. Tonight, you begin to feel that truth. Your breath deepens, your body grows heavier. Your thoughts drift more slowly across your inner sky. And now, slip into another moment of meditative stillness. You find yourself inside a vast stone observatory high on a mountain. The domed ceiling opens to reveal a sky filled with stars, brilliant, steady, ancient. The air is cool, touched with the scent of pine carried up from the forests below. You sit on a wide stone platform, legs folded gently beneath you, the cool surface grounding your body with a comforting weight. Above you, the stars shimmer silently across the sky's dark velvet. Some pulse faintly, others glow with unwavering light. As you watch them, you sense how each star simply exists, without rushing, without striving, without asking anything of you. Thoughts drift through your mind like shooting stars, brief, harmless, leaving no trail behind. You breathe, slow, deep, aware. Your awareness feels as steady as the mountains beneath the observatory. You linger there in the quiet, watching the vastness above and feeling the vastness within. Now, as your mind settles even more deeply, something beautiful happens. The boundary between your thoughts and your awareness dissolves. You no longer feel inside your thoughts. You feel seated just behind them, in a still, spacious place untouched by movement. Marcus Aurelius called this returning to the inner citadel, a quiet fortress of calm that nothing external can disturb. You begin to sense it opening around you like a soft circle of warmth. Inside this citadel, thoughts arise, but don't take hold. Memories appear, but don't pull you. Worries surface, but fade on their own. You are the quiet watcher, the calm center, the sky, not the clouds. And as this deep awareness settles, your breath becomes almost whisper soft. Your entire body feels heavy, warm, deeply rooted. Overthinking feels distant now. Like the memory of a faraway storm you no longer stand beneath. Asterisk, as you lie here, wrapped in this profound quiet, you begin to feel the final transition approaching now. A new teaching, but a merging of everything you've touched tonight. A state where thought softens into silence, where philosophy dissolves into pure stillness, where you rest in calm without effort. Asterisk, the path ahead leads into the deepest part of the journey, a place where understanding turns into peace. Asterisk, and peace turns into sleep. Asterisk, your breath slows, your eyelids grow heavy, and you drift toward the final sanctuary waiting in the dark, where all wisdom becomes rest. Your breath has become so soft now, barely a ripple in the quiet around you. Each inhale reases like a feather lifted by the gentlest breeze. Each exhale falls like a warm blanket settling over your entire body. You've entered the deepest part of the night, the place where thought loosens completely, where awareness drifts into spacious silence, where you rest in the very center of calm. Asterisk, all the wisdom you've gathered along this journey begins to weave together now. Subtle, effortless, like threads of gold merging into a single, glowing fabric. You no longer hold these teachings in your mind. You feel them soft truths settling through your breath, shaping your inner landscape in ways gentler than thought. Asterisk, the storm has quieted, the weight has softened, the expectations have loosened. Asterisk, the thoughts have drifted, time has slowed, the observer has awakened within you. Asterisk, and now everything becomes still. Asterisk, imagine yourself standing at the entrance of a secluded temple carved into the side of a quiet mountain. Lanterns glow faintly along the stone walls, casting warm halos of amber light across smooth, ancient steps. A cool breeze moves through the narrow passageway, carrying the scent of cedar and distant rain. You take a slow step forward, then another, and feel the air grow calmer, softer, more sacred. Inside the temple, the world becomes silence. Not empty silence, silence. Asterisk, a silence filled with breath, warmth, and deep, steady peace. Asterisk, you walk gently across polished stone until you reach a wide, circular chamber at the heart of the temple. The ceiling opens to the night sky, where thousands of stars shimmer like scattered jewels. The air is warm, held by the soft glow of candles lining the room. Their flames sway in slow motion, as if breathing with you. Asterisk, you sit on a smooth stone cushion at the center of the chamber. The stone beneath you is cool, grounding. The air around you is warm, comforting. Your breath flows easily now, so slow, so quiet. It almost feels like the night itself is breathing through you. Asterisk, this is the deeper stillness the Stoics spoke of, not the stillness of inactivity, but the stillness of a mind completely at peace with itself. Asterisk, a stillness where nothing needs to be changed. Asterisk, nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be solved. Everything simply is. Asterisk, Marcus Aurelius often wrote that peace comes from settling into the present moment as if it were enough. And as you breathe here, you finally feel what he meant to your mind, no longer reaching forward or backward, no longer tightening around thought, no longer resisting the gentle fall of night. You are simply here, breathing, resting, drifting. Asterisk, the walls around you seem to glow with a soft warmth. It almost feels like the stones themselves are whispering ancient comfort, reminding you that humans have been seeking calm for thousands of years, and that you, right now, in your quiet room, are part of that long, gentle lineage of souls. Finding peace in the night. Now allow your awareness to slowly expand. First to the weight of your body, then to the softness beneath you, then to the quiet filling the room, and then, even wider, to the sense of spaciousness inside you. It feels like a wide lake at dawn still, smooth, unbroken. Even if a thought touches the surface, the lake remains calm. Even if a memory drifts across it, it leaves no ripples. Even if a feeling arises, it fades like mist before sunlight. You are the lake. You are the stillness. You are the calm center beneath everything that moves. Let yourself sink deeper into this inner quiet. Your arms grow heavy. Your legs grow warm. Your eyelids soften. Your breath glides in slow, effortless waves. Now imagine lying down on a soft mat at the center of the temple. A warm breeze drifts through the open ceiling, carrying the scent of night flowers blooming somewhere far below. The stars above look steady, comforting, eternal. A soft glow surrounds you like the air itself is holding you, supporting you, easing you into rest. The Stoics believed that wisdom is not something learned, but something remembered. And tonight, in this profound calm, you remember something simple and true. You were always meant for peace. Your mind was always capable of stillness. Your breath was always a doorway home. You feel that truth now, as your breath grows slower, deeper, softer. The boundary between you and the night begins to blur. You feel both grounded and weightless, like a stone resting on warm earth, and like a cloud drifting across a quiet sky. Nothing pulls at you. Nothing rushes you. Nothing disturbs you. Thoughts still appear, but they dissolve instantly, leaving only space. Memories drift through, but they soften before they even form. The world grows distant, gentle, muted. Only warmth remains. Only breath remains. Only calm remains. Now the entire night seems to gather around you like a soft blanket, stars above, warm stone beneath, candlelight fluttering like quiet heartbeats around the chamber. You feel yourself sinking deeper, deeper, deeper still, into a state where the mind no longer holds shape, where thought becomes mist, where awareness becomes soft light. And here, in this deep, quiet, peaceful place, your body finally gives itself permission to rest completely. Your breath flows like silk. Your thoughts dissolve like snowflakes. Your limbs drift into warmth. Your awareness melts into darkness. You have reached the end of this journey, 12 steps into deeper stillness, each one guiding you back to yourself, back to calm, back to the quiet, peaceful center that has always lived inside you. Let all remaining thoughts fade now. Let all effort fall away. Let your breath guide you into sleep. And now, so gently, so softly, you can let go. You can drift, float, fade. Rest. The night holds you. The wisdom of centuries surrounds you. Asterisk, your mind is quiet. Your body is heavy. Your breath is soft. Asterisk, and sleep, sweet, deep sleep, comes for you like a warm tide.